All right, let's jump right in, shall we? We're going deep into a world where magic isn't just something you read about in fairy tales. It's real, it's dangerous, and it's happening right here in Chicago. We're talking about Stormfront, the first book in Jim Butcher's Dresden Files series.
Yeah, this is a Chicago you might not recognize. Think skyscrapers and gritty alleys, but with a hidden layer of magic and supernatural forces at play.
And at the center of it all is Harry Dresden, Chicago's only wizard listed in the phone book. He's a wizard for hire, trying to make a living in a world that doesn't quite believe in magic.
He's kind of like a magical detective.
Exactly, and Stormfront throws us right into the action with a double homicide that has the Chicago PD baffled.
The victims are found in a luxurious hotel room, and let's just say the cause of death isn't your typical gunshot or stabbing.
Right, there's definitely some dark magic involved here. The police are stumped, so they call in their consultant, Harry Dresden.
But he's already got his hands full with a missing person case.
Yeah, powerful warlock named Victor Sells has vanished, and his wife, Monica, is convinced that foul play is involved. She turns to Harry for help, but she's terrified of involving the police.
Which adds another layer of complexity to the story, right? There's this whole hidden world operating in the shadows, and sometimes even the police are out of their depth.
Absolutely. And then we have this new drug hitting the streets called 3-Eye. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, 3-Eye is bad news. It grants users temporary magical abilities, but the side effects are unpredictable and often dangerous. It's like playing Russian roulette with magic.
So we've got a double homicide, a missing warlock, a dangerous new drug, and a wizard stuck in the middle of it all. Talk about a recipe for trouble. Where do we even begin with this?
Well, first we need to understand the world Butcher has created. This isn't your typical fantasy setting with elves and dragons. It's a gritty Bergen fantasy where magic clashes with modern technology and the rules are anything but clear-cut.
It's magic with a noir twist.
Exactly, and Harry's a perfect example of that. He's not some all-powerful sorcerer living in a tower. He's a flawed, relatable guy, more comfortable quoting Bugs Bunny than reciting ancient incantations.
He's the kind of wizard who keeps his staff in the closet next to his hockey stick.
Right. He's got this dry wit, this cynicism that masks a deep sense of responsibility. He wants to do the right thing, even if it means putting himself in danger.
Which he does a lot. So let's get back to the double homicide. The police call in Harry because they recognize that this is way beyond their expertise.
The crime scene is like something out of a nightmare. There's powerful black magic at work here, the kind that most practitioners wouldn't even dream of using.
And that's where Detective Kerry Murphy comes in. He's Harry's main contact with the Chicago PD, but their relationship is, well, complicated.
She's tough, she's pragmatic, and she's seen enough weird stuff to know that there's more to the world than meets the eye, but she's still skeptical of Harry's wizard claims.
It's like a constant push and pull between them. She wants to believe, but she needs proof. And Harry's not always the best at providing that.
It makes for some great banter, though, right? This clash between the rational and the supernatural.
Definitely. It's one of the things that makes their partnership so interesting. So while Harry's trying to figure out who could have committed this gruesome murder, he's also dealing with Monica Sells, who's convinced that her husband's disappearance is connected to the darker side of the magical world.
And she's right to be worried. Victor Sells is a powerful warlock, and he's been dabbling in some very dangerous magic.
Yeah, and she's not willing to go to the police, which only adds to the mystery and the danger, but she trusts Harry, which is a big deal.
Because trust is a rare commodity in this world, especially when magic is involved.
Right. And then there's 3-Eye, this new drug that's causing all sorts of problems. It's connected to the double homicide somehow, but the exact nature of the connection is still unclear.
What's interesting about 3-Eye is that it represents the temptation of power, the desire for something more, something extraordinary. It's a shortcut to magic, but like all shortcuts, it comes with a price.
It's like someone bottled raw magic and started selling it on street corners. You can imagine the chaos that ensues.
And the people who are drawn to 3-Eye are often desperate, vulnerable, looking for a way out of their circumstances.
Which makes them easy prey for someone like Victor Sells. Remember, he's a powerful warlock, and he's not afraid to use his magic for his own gain.
And he's got his own reasons for wanting to keep the magical world hidden from the mundane. He's part of the White Council, this ancient organization that governs the use of magic.
And they're not exactly known for their transparency, are they?
Not really. They're more about maintaining control than protecting people. And they see Harry as a bit of a loose cannon, someone who doesn't always play by the rules.
Which is why Harry is often caught between a rock and a hard place. He wants to help people, but he also has to answer to the White Council.
And then there's Johnny Marcone.
Ah, yes, Chicago's most powerful crime lord.
He's a fascinating character, a force to be reckoned with. He represents the intersection of the magical and the mundane. He's a businessman, a strategist, and he understands that power comes in many forms.
And he's not afraid to use any of them.
Exactly. And when Harry crosses paths with Marcone, the tension is palpable. You can practically feel the sparks flying.
Because they both know that the stakes are high and that the wrong move could have deadly consequences.
So we've got a lot going on here. Double homicide with a supernatural twist, a missing warlock, a dangerous new drug, a shadowy crime lord, and a magical governing body that's more concerned with maintaining control than protecting people.
Sounds about right.
It's classic Dresden Files.
And it's only the beginning. Welcome back to the deep dive. So last we left off, Harry was dealing with a double homicide, a missing warlock, and a dangerous new drug, all while trying to navigate the tricky world of magic and stay on the right side of the White Council.
Yeah, it's a lot for one wizard to handle, even one as talented as Harry Dresden.
So where do we go from here? What's the next step in this magical mystery tour?
Well, Harry needs answers. He needs to figure out who's behind the double homicide and what happened to Victor Sells. And he needs to do it fast because the clock is kicking.
Right, and remember, he's got that dark magic ritual working against him, draining his life force, so time is of the essence.
Exactly, and that talisman that Monica Sells gave him, the one she found among her husband's belongings, that's going to play a key role in the investigation.
Ah, yes, the talisman. What was it again?
It was this creepy little trinket, a small silver pendant shaped like a wolf's head.
Right, right. And it turned out to be more than just a piece of jewelry.
Oh, much more. It was a focal point for Victor's magic, a conduit for his power. Harry realizes that it might be the key to finding him.
Like a magical breadcrumb trail. But Harry's not just relying on magical intuition here, is he?
No, he's also using his detective skills, his knowledge of the city, and his connections in both the magical and mundane worlds.
He's a resourceful guy, that Harry Dresden. So where does he go first?
Well, he starts by visiting the morgue. He wants to examine the bodies of the double homicide victims, hoping to find some trace of magic that the police might have missed.
Makes sense. He's looking for a magical signature, something that will point him in the right direction.
Exactly. And then he decides to pay a visit to McAnally's.
McAnally's. Oh, yeah, that's that magical hangout spot, right?
Right. It's a bar, but it's also a neutral ground for all kinds of supernatural beings. Vampires, werewolves, fairies, you name it. They've probably been to McAnally's at some point.
It's like a magical Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if your name is something like Bob the Skull.
Huh. Exactly. So Harry goes to McAnally's hoping to pick up some information, maybe some gossip about Victor Sells or this new drug, 3i.
And he's in luck, right?
He is. He runs into Susan Rodriguez, a reporter for the Chicago Arcane, a tabloid that covers all things supernatural.
Oh, yeah, Susan. She's a great character. Always on the hunt for a good story.
And she's heard some whispers about 3i. She tells Harry that it's causing quite a stir in the magical underworld.
Which is never a good sign. So 3i is officially on Harry's radar now. He's got the double homicide, the missing warlock, and now this dangerous new drug to worry about.
Right. And he's starting to connect the dots. He realizes that the victims of the double homicide might have been involved in the 3i trade.
So it's all starting to come together, but it's still a very messy puzzle.
It is, and it's about to get a whole lot messier because Harry decides to go check out Victor Sells' lake house.
Ah, the lake house. That sounds ominous.
It is. It's isolated, secluded, and full of secrets. Harry's hoping to find some clue about Victor's whereabouts, some evidence of his magical activities.
He's not alone, is he?
No, he's not. While he's snooping around, he encounters a creepy photographer looping in the woods nearby.
A photographer. In the middle of nowhere. That sounds suspicious.
It is. This guy, Donnie Wise, claims to be a bird washer, but Harry's not buying it.
Harry's a pretty good judge of character. So what happens next?
Well, Harry leaves the lake house without finding any solid evidence, but he can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. And he's right to be worried.
Because
Because he gets attacked outside his apartment.
oh no. Is he all right?
He survives, but just barely. He's knocked unconscious, and when he wakes up, he knows something is terribly wrong.
What kind of attack was it?
It was a magical attack. Harry realizes that he's been targeted by a dark magic ritual.
A dark magic ritual. That sounds serious.
It is. This ritual is designed to drain Harry's life force slowly and painfully. It's a nasty piece of magic, and it leaves Harry weakened and vulnerable.
So what does he do?
Well, he knows he needs to find the person responsible for the ritual, but he's also running out of time. He's getting lead to by the day.
And he can't just blast his attacker with magic, can he?
No, he's bound by the White Council's laws. He can't use lethal force against a human.
So he's trapped. He's being drained of his life force, and he can't even defend himself properly. What a predicament.
It is, but Harry's not one to give up easily. He decides to use a tracking spell to follow the magical signature of his attacker.
A tracking spell. Clever. Where does it lead him?
It leads him to a seedy part of town, a place where magic and crime intersect, and it's there that he crosses paths with someone who might be able to help him. Johnny Marcone.
All right, so we're back, and things aren't looking too good for Harry Dresden. He's facing off against Victor Sells, a warlock gone rogue, who's also behind this nasty, dark magic ritual that's slowly draining Harry's life force.
It's a pretty dire situation, even for a wizard like Harry. He's got to stop Victor, but he's also got to deal with the White Council breathing down his neck, making sure he doesn't break any of their rules.
Right, those White Council rules. Always a pain in the neck. So how does Harry even begin to tackle this? He's weakened, he's got limited options, and Victor seems to have the upper hand.
Well, luckily for Harry, he's not completely alone in this. He's got a few allies, and they come in some pretty unexpected forms.
Like Bob, for instance.
Yeah, Bob, the talking skull. He might be a bit creepy, but he's also a fountain of magical knowledge.
Skull full of secrets. He's always got some smarky comment or bit of advice for Harry.
Right, but Bob's more than just comic relief. He's actually a powerful spirit bound to Harry's service. He can help Harry with spells, research, and even offer tactical advice.
It's a good thing Harry has him around, that's for sure. But Bob isn't the only one who steps up to help. What about Murphy?
Ah, Detective Karen Murphy. She might not be a magical expert, but she's tough, resourceful, and fiercely loyal to Harry.
And she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Exactly. Even though she's still a bit skeptical about the whole magic thing, she trusts Harry, and she's willing to put herself on the line to help him.
It's a great example of how their partnership works. They come from such different worlds, but they have this mutual respect, this understanding that they need each other to get the job done.
It's a pretty classic dynamic, the cop and the consultant. But Butcher adds this whole other layer with the magic and the supernatural.
Definitely makes things more interesting. So while Harry is preparing for this showdown with Victor, Murphy's following her own leads. Remember, she's still investigating the double homicide, trying to connect the dots.
Right, she's doing some good old-fashioned police work, following the trail of evidence, and that trail leads her straight to Victor's lake house.
Talk about a collision course.
And Victor's not just sitting around waiting for them. He's turned his lake house into a fortress, using his dark magic to create traps and summon demonic guardians.
Sounds like he's really gone off the deep end.
He has. The power has corrupted him, isolated him. He's become paranoid, obsessed with control.
A classic villain origin story. But it's also a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power.
Absolutely. And as Harry navigates this magical minefield, he's pushed to his limits. He's injured, exhausted, and his life force is draining away.
He's in a bad spot. And Victor's not letting up. So what does Harry do?
He makes a desperate gamble. He decides to tap into a forbidden form of magic. Storm magic.
Storm magic. Now that sounds intense.
It is. It's a powerful and unpredictable force of nature, and it's strictly forbidden by the White Council.
But Harry's got his back against the wall. He's willing to risk everything to stop Victor.
And it's a risky move. Storm magic is chaotic, dangerous. Harry could easily lose control and cause even more damage.
But he's also got to protect himself, right? And protect Murphy, who's now caught in the crossfire.
Exactly. He's got to make a choice, and he's got to make it fast, so he unleashes the storm.
And what a storm it is. Butcher really paints a vivid picture of this magical battle. It's epic, intense, and incredibly destructive.
Victor and Harry go head-to-head, their magic clashing in a spectacular display of power. The lake house is practically ripped apart.
So who wins?
Well, Harry manages to defeat Victor, but the victory comes at a high price.
Murphy, right?
Yeah, she's badly injured. Caught in the crossfire of Victor's dark magic and Harry's storm.
I bet Harry feels awful about that.
He does. He blames himself, but he also knows that he didn't have much choice. He had to stop Victor, no matter the cost.
It's a classic hero's dilemma.
It is, and the ending of Stormfront is bittersweet. Justice is served, but there are casualties. And Harry is left scarred, both physically and emotionally.
So what have we learned from our deep dive into Stormfront?
We've learned that magic is a powerful force, capable of great good and great evil.
We've learned that trust is a fragile thing, easily broken.
We've learned that even heroes have to make tough choices, choices with consequences.
And we've learned that the world is a lot stranger and more dangerous than we might think.
So if you're looking for a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat, a story with magic, mystery, and a healthy dose of humor, then check out the Dresden Files.
It's a wild ride, and this is just the beginning.